Hello Year 9, today we continue on areas. We're going to look at finding the area of a rectangle today. It should be something you're familiar with, so we're just going to practice it. It shouldn't be brand new information. So your title for today is area of a rectangle, so you can go ahead and write that down wherever it is that you're writing your notes these days, and then ideally you can do these 10 questions to get you started. Okay, now if you've been watching these videos for a while, you know to pause the video now, and then the answers are going to come up. So you go ahead and do that. Alright, there you go. There's the answers. So make sure you mark those in some kind of pen, pink, purple, green, whatever you've got on hand is absolutely fine. So you go ahead and mark those. You can press pause again, and then we'll get started with the lesson. Alright, see you in a minute. Alright, calculating the area of a rectangle. So we want to find out what is the area of this pink rectangle and what's the area of the yellow rectangle. And in order for us to find the area is actually asking us how much space is taken up inside this particular shape. Now you may remember from primary school, you may remember from earlier this year, but if we'd like to calculate the area of a rectangle, the area is given by the length times by the width. So we've got 5 and 7 here, so the area is going to be 5 times by 7, which is 35. Now when we're calculating area, we're trying to find out how many centimeter squares, so how many tiny little squares that look like this, that are 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, fit inside this particular shape. And for that reason, what we're going to measure area in is we're going to measure it in centimeters squared. So area we measure in centimeters squared because we're essentially trying to find out how many of these tiny little squares like this that are each 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, they're not perfect squares, you can use your imagination there, would fit inside this particular rectangle. All right, and if we had these perfectly lovely 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter squares, we could fit 35 of them into the pink rectangle. Moving on to the yellow rectangle, it's turned the other way, but the same thing is going to happen. The area of this rectangle is going to be 3 times by 10, which is 30. Now this time, the units are not going to be centimeters squared because as you can see, the units are given in meters. So it's going to be 30 meters squared. All right, and that is the basis of what we're going to do today. The other way that we can be asked this question is to find the area of a compound shape. So we need to calculate the area of this particular shape, but hopefully you can see it's not just a rectangle. It's actually 2 rectangles that have been put together. So we need to split it up into 2 smaller rectangles so that we can go ahead and find the area. Now there's 2 ways that I can do this question. I can either split this rectangle across here so that I have rectangle 1 and rectangle 2. That's absolutely completely acceptable. Or I could actually split it a completely different way. If I wanted to, I could split it going down this way so that I have rectangle 1 and rectangle 2. Now, assuming that you do this correctly, it doesn't actually matter which way you split this up. Now, because I've already drawn on it like this, I'm just going to find this particular area. So we've got rectangle 1, which is on the left-hand side. If we draw around rectangle 1, we've got this side over here, this distance across the bottom, this side back here, and this side across the top. So we've got 5 and we've got 12. So for shape 1, it's going to be 5 times by 12, which is 60 meters squared. So there we've done shape 1 already. We've done rectangle 1 of 2. Now we're going to go on to the second rectangle, which I'm tracing out here in blue. Now I can see that one side of the rectangle is 9 meters, but I don't actually know how big this side is over here, because at the bottom it tells me the entire distance across the bottom is 25 meters, and I don't want the entire distance across the bottom. If we look at shape 1, rectangle 1, you can see that the bottom of rectangle 1 is 5 meters. So this distance from here to here is only 5 meters. If we know that the distance across the entire bottom is 25 meters, then I can find the space that's left over by doing 25, take away those 5 meters that I've already used. So the answer there is 20. So that tells me that this question mark here is actually 20 meters. And now I've got the length and the width of rectangle 2, so I'm going to go ahead and find those. 9 times by 20 is 180 meters squared. So now I know the area of shape 1, of rectangle 1, and of rectangle 2, so I can find the entire area by adding them together. So the area is going to be 180 plus 60, which is 240 meters squared. All right, whenever you've got a compound shape, whenever you got a shape that does not look exactly like a rectangle today, split it up into 2 or more smaller rectangles. All right, there are 2 tasks for you to do today. One is just really straightforward area and perimeter of a rectangle, and then the other one is the area of a compound shape like these L shapes here. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Have a good day. Bye.